This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
Well, as you know, I had a big birthday.
Yeah, congratulations. A big 6-0.
60. Yeah. On Tuesday, I turned 60. And thank you for the lovely bouquet of flowers that
you're welcome.
That you and the missus sent. That was really, really nice.
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate the 12-pack of Ensure. Okay. I didn't.
What about the diapers? Did you like that?
So, but I was feeling, I know that you turned 60 6 weeks ago, and you had a bit of a tough time.
Yes, I'm still having a tough time.
Yeah. I really didn't.
Okay.
And it's not like I don't necessarily feel
you're so young at heart.
Well, that's true.
What it is.
But I think it is my vibrancy.
You've got a bounce in your step. You're just, you may be only 6 weeks younger than me, but you're really much younger.
Right. I'm like Mary Tyler Moore throwing the hat.
You are.
Right?
You are.
That's the thing.
I've always thought of you that way.
So I went to the dentist today. So I haven't really been feeling old. Okay. So I went to the dentist today, and you know how they have cameras, they do have cameras, but television screens. Yeah. So you can watch while they're cleaning your teeth, and you can watch TV.
Well, because you can't have a conversation.
Right. And so there's something to do. They were Kelly and who's her husband? Mark Smuckers-Hostess or whatever.
Oh, yeah, Kelly. Yeah.
And it was on, okay? And I was watching.
Mark Consuelo.
Yeah, right. Dreamy. That guy is very attractive. So I'm just sitting there and watching Kelly and Mark, and I'm going, this show isn't bad.
Oh my gosh!
Right. And
were you on the Laughing Gas at that time?
No. And I'm like, they are delightful. They had one of the women from the Housewives of the whatever, Orange County or whatever.
Right.
She was a Stitch, and they had.
Oh my God!
Who was the Saturday Night Live?
I don't even know you anymore.
Who was the Saturday Night Live guy who got into the really bad accident?
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, he was on there. Wonderful. But I was really enjoying it. God, this show is delightful. And then they do the audience shot.
Yeah.
And it's
you.
It's 87-year-old people, right? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to dial it back a little bit. I do not like this show. This show is stupid.
It's lame, man. It's lame. Just like this show. It's called Minutia Men.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie production on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
I've been listening to News Radio 78 for 50 years.
You have been.
So, but I had no idea how.
So that's funny because, you were like 45 years old when you were 25.
Right.
And then you just stopped aging.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Absolutely right. But granted, I've been a middle-aged guy since 1984.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey,
we got a ton of stuff to do.
Okay.
And at our age,
you
never know. We're going to take a little snooze.
Roll it.
Yeah. So this has not been a great year for Germany.
Why is that?
Well, it's not a great year. Perhaps not as bad as the 40, 44, 45, whatever. But not a great year. So last month, 2 months ago, a German transit study found that a third of Germany's trains are chronically late and
wait, what?
Yeah, I know, right? No, there's a study, and I think we even did a story that to placate the passengers that are pissed off, they are using aromatherapy. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
they're pumping in soothing scents. Okay, so that's gone wrong for Germany.
I don't even know these people anymore.
During the past 9 months, German scientists. And let's be clear, that phrase, German scientists, kind of creepy in itself, have found that an estimated 57% of all German wild boars, that's the animal, not your Uncle Horst, contained high levels of radioactive cesium. So over half of the German wild boars are radioactive, basically, due to nuclear weapon tests over the decades.
Wow.
But now here is a third thing that Germany is grappling with right
so don't eat the boars. Your train might not be on time.
Right. And avoid the raccoons. Beer-loving raccoons are terrorizing German cities.
And that's really the most important thing in a German city.
Is the raccoon.
Is the beer.
Is the beer, right.
Yeah.
Germany's raccoon population has exploded in the past couple of decades. This crafty, adaptable furball have been has filled a so far unfulfilled niche in Germany's ecosystem that they're perfectly fitting in. The raccoons are slowly starting to take control of German cities. Okay,
oh my God.
They rummage through trash cans. They make a mess, as raccoons do. Like your sons, right? Mm-hmm. And they kill and they eat household pets. It's a problem, right?
Yeah.
But this is how they're surviving is that they've developed a taste for beer.
Well, yeah. They're German.
Right in Rome,
yeah.
Right? So but it's more than just a passing fancy.
Yeah.
They are breaking in to places specifically for the beer.
Oh my God.
Hans,
like roving bands of raccoons.
With masked too, right?
Yeah.
Hans Schlofen, real name, the way, the head of Berlin's Interior Bureau, says the raccoons have developed a taste for German beer and are friendly city people. Okay.
Even Berlin beer, because let's if we're going to talk German beer.
Berlin beer is not.
Berlin beer is...
It's like old
second
style?
rate.
It's old style?
It's not Bavarian beer. Yeah, that's all right. Carry on.
Now, you might be wondering how raccoons first came to Germany.
I am.
Okay. Guess who's responsible?
Would that be the Americans?
No, it would be the Nazis, actually.
Oh.
So, Joseph Goebbels.
Yeah.
Okay. Nazis, propaganda minister, ordered raccoons to be released in Germany's forest to improve the country's biodiversity. This is the first time Goebbels and diversity has ever been in the same sentence. So he released, I don't know, a couple of raccoons back in the 30s into the Tiergarten or what? I don't know.
The Schwarzwald,
and they wanted because he wanted to.
Oh, that's fascinating.
And they exploded.
Wow.
Now
because they have no natural predators,
I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm envisioning raccoons with little lederhosens, playing little accordions, right? With wearing their masks and just schnockered.
Ralphie Raccoon. Yeah, that's nice. I have a story for you. This is also a drinking story. Mm-hmm. We're lining up perfectly. A Wisconsin bar was the site for one of the greatest stories to come out of Week 1 of the NFL. And if you missed it, hundreds of Packers fans packed Jack's American Pub in Milwaukee for a promotion that offered free drinks if the Jets lost because they are so ticked off that Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Now, of course, we all know what happened in that game. Yeah. Things went awry. And I'm just going to play the report from this guy because it is so funny. Here he is. The reporter's name is AJ Bayatapur. Here we go.
We're just going to keep going.
Another condition is Aaron Rodgers must start the game, but the rules say nothing about him having to finish it. So there's a loud roar when Rodgers leaves the game hurt in the first quarter. The fans say it's nothing personal.
I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to Rodgers, but tonight I'm thinking with my wallet instead.
Still, some say they'll be flying high regardless of the outcome because after Sunday's game, they're in love.
I think we can work around that, especially after Jordan Love's performance yesterday. I'm not too down in the dumps after that.
Ouch.
So
yeah.
Enjoy.
And the mood has changed considerably. That is because the Jets just won the game on a long touchdown in overtime. You could take a look. This is the reaction from a bar where people are realizing the bar tabs they've been racking up all night, thinking, certainly with Rodgers hurt, the bar was going to be paying that tab. It is setting in. They are going to have to go to the bar and pay that tab. That's where we're at. This offer is going to be in effect for another 12 games this season. As long as the Jets and Packers are not playing at the same time, this Jets lose, you win promotion is in effect. Tonight, Bill and Natalie, the house won.
So all these Packer fans go into this bar.
Yes.
And the bar says if the Jets lose, all your drinks are free.
Right.
Okay. That's all
right. Well, so they thought, right. It was kind of a risky proposition on the bar's point, but the bar won.
Yeah, right.
And
this time,
this is this makes me so happy because these are Packer fans who are gloating from the day before because they had just crushed the Bears,
killed the Bears,
and now they're ready to take a dump on Aaron Rodgers. He gets hurt, and they're like cheering. And now. And so they just drink, and we're talking about Wisconsin.
Oh my God, I know.
Like we're just talking. They're like raccoons in Germany. They're drinking and drinking all day long. That the night comes, the game ends in overtime.
Right.
They lose in horrific fashion, and now
they have to
pay.
Do you remember when we went to? Was that for Dane's 50th?
Yes, it was.
We went to
Milwaukee,
and we went to what was the bar's called? General Galooly or whatever, Gagoonies or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had that whenever the Packers would score, and they weren't playing the Bears, but we were there.
You got a free shot.
Yeah, and they scored like 54 to whatever, and everybody is just hammered.
Yeah, they like to drink in Wisconsin. I don't know if you've heard about that. So that's nice.
Hey, we got a review, maybe from Chicago, or maybe from Wisconsin.
Okay.
Every episode is great. Every episode is great, quick-witted, and timely. Must listen, and that's from Florina B. Drill via Apple Podcasts.
Well, that's
last week.
That's very nice. It's time for another feature.
Time now for Studio Walls.
And the words of the prophets were written on the studio walls. Weekend
So this is the part of the show where we reach into the archives of Rick and Dave, and there's 40 years of stuff to choose from. And this week, Dave,
when you are 60, tends to
right. That means we were 20 when we met.
Yeah.
Actually, we were 19, I think. Anyway, this week, just a couple of years ago, Eddie Money passed away. Yeah. The great Eddie Money. And
was it last year?
Was it? Yeah, it was actually. It was last year. Yeah, and we had a guest on. Mm-hmm. His name is Kurt Elling, who's a friend of yours. He's also a world-renowned jazz vocalist, and it turns out he's also a great storyteller. And he has a story that he shared with us about Eddie Money, and we're going to play that for you right now.
So I'm out in Colorado doing dates with the band. This is maybe, 15 years ago, maybe longer, 19 years ago. And my bass player's like, dude, we got a day off. We should go whitewater rafting. I say, okay, because it's going to be boring, and we're out in some, hotel that doesn't mean anything to anybody. And we're like, yeah. So we put on gungies. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to pick you up in a short bus because that's the way it works. We're going to pick you guys up in a short bus from this strip mall parking lot, and then we'll take you to the place. They say, okay. So we go and we're standing around, and my guy's got like cut off jean shorts with the tag still on them, and I've got on whatever I borrowed, and we're going to go whitewater rafting. So we get on the short bus, and we got about 15 other people that we're just meeting on the way, and onto the bus comes a guy with real big hair and a big old schnoz, really handsome, but he's also wearing cut off jean shorts with the snag still coming off the bottom, and he's got and tube socks and white tennis shoes, and he comes on and he goes, "Hey everybody, it's Eddie Money, the singer. How you doing? How you doing? How you guys doing?"
That's how he introduced himself.
He walked onto the bus and he said, "Hey everybody, it's Eddie Money, the singer." And then he greeted everybody on the bus and just like sat down. He's like, "Yeah, I got my kids. We're gonna go whitewater rafting. What are you doing here?" Like, dude, we're all going.
We're all wearing the same clothes, and we're going to the same place. Eddie Money, the singer.
Did you introduce yourself as Kurt Elling, the singer?
Yeah.
I just said, "Dude, Eddie Money, right on, man." And he's like, "Yeah, all right." And then my bass player, of course, knew all the players on all of his records. He's like, "Oh man, in 1972, you did this record. Oh yeah, that was a good record. Yeah." All right, man. Well, so we're gonna raft today, right? It's awesome. So we ended up going whitewater rafting. He had his kids and his wife or whatever in one, and we were like doing races down the thing, and he was getting all winded because he was an old user, and but just a lovely guy. But just to come on the bus and be like, "Hey, let's put everybody at their mercy. Hey, it's Eddie Money."
So when you were on the raft, did he, if anyone started leaning over to the end, did he say, "Baby, hold on"?
You know what? He didn't have that kind of. No, he was busy.
Yeah.
He was looking for his next cigarette.
So
that's a great story.
So we saw Kurt headlined Jazz Fest a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
At the Pritzker Pavilion. He was just fantastic. I mean, it was just great. But he did the Baby Hold On to Me. That's the song he did.
Yeah.
And when they're going into it, he goes, I'm Eddie Money, the singer. That's how he introduced the song.
Did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That was awesome.
So you know how I've been saying that every week, if I wanted to, I could play you a parody song that I wrote. Well, again, this week, I'm not going to play all of it, just play a little bit of it. This week in 1998.
All right, so 98. Okay. September
Sammy
of 90.
Sosa.
Oh, is it
Sammy Sosa?
The home run race? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, he hit 60 homers. Mm-hmm. He did it a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And I wrote a song about my dear friend Sammy Sosa. Okay. It's called...
Is this the pre-steroids Sammy Sosa?
Well, I'll play a little bit of it. It's called Sosa.
Oh, Lola, I see what you did there.
Mark McGuire hit 70, but we all know who's MVP. Sammy Sosa. S-O-S-A Sosa. Even though Brant Brown dropped that ball, Cubs are in the playoffs after all, thanks to Sosa. S-O-S-A Sosa. S-O-S-A Sosa.
You get the idea. Yeah. That was one of my favorite ones that we did live. By the way, I was on Landecker's show recently, and he said something like... you make it sound like I wasn't part of the process at all, which is a fair point. I mean, he is singing every one of these songs.
Sure. But he wasn't getting up as early as you were, was he?
No. He
wasn't working as hard as you were.
He wasn't. And he wasn't writing the lyrics either. I mean, he helped with the lyrics, definitely. Yeah. And a lot of these songs were his idea to write them.
Sure.
And he sang them all.
Right.
I didn't sing any of them.
But you wrote the song.
I did.
Right.
I did.
He done that was one of his vocal performances that were
pretty
best.
good.
That was one of the best ones.
Pretty good.
Him, Eddie Money, and Kurt Elling could be mad. Hey, here's a story coming out of England.
Okay.
Police rushed to report of a ritual mass killing, but it was just a yoga class. According to a Facebook post by Seascape Cafe at the Observatory, a cafe that is also a community space, art gallery, and exercise studio in the UK, people rushed to the business shortly after a yoga class wrapped up because a concerned passerby mistook the final resting position of the entire class as a mass killing. So he walked by the thing and he sees it.
That's a bloody sea of dead blokes and birds.
The final resting pose, also known as the corpse pose or Savasana, I think it's called, typically occurs at the end of a yoga class in which people lie on their backs with their eyes closed in order to sink into a meditative state. The unidentified person went past it, like I said, called the cops. Cops come in and they're like, okay, it's really just a yoga class, but thank you. And like I said, Lincolnshire police confirmed. They went there.
Oh, Lincolnshire.
Yeah, not Lincolnshire.
Not the... Yeah. Okay.
Hey, have you ever gone to a yoga class? Have you ever taken a yoga?
I did, yeah. My body doesn't work that way.
Well, that's the one thing. But also, did you get really emotional?
No.
For whatever reason, and it wasn't the pain, I did, I would go to Michelle would drag me to these things every, let's do this for 8 weeks or whatever. I would get all teary and emotional because it's like a release,
Wow.
I'm like, I can't do this. I'm German.
Low T.
Right. Yeah. Well, I do have low T.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm German.
Yeah.
I can't do this. German's not for yoga.
No, I mean, you have your emotions surgically removed at birth.
I pushed them down into a little safe way down there. But I did find an audio of a German yoga instructor.
Oh,
I sent it to you.
I have it right here. Let's play it. Here we go.
Meet yourself wherever you are right now.
Meet yourself exactly where I need you to be right now.
Take as many breaths here as you need.
In precisely 3 breaths. You will meet me in Downward Dog, and just know that if you are even a moment late, you are disappointment to the fatherland.
Focus on extending your spine as if you're extending your consciousness into the heavens.
Extending through the spine, the way we extend loans to Mediterranean economies.
Next, we're going to move into child's pose.
We will go down into kinder pose. It is similar to child's pose, but distinctly less joyful.
There you,
that's nice.
There you go. That's a German yoga instructor
like
for
you. They're making the German sound kind of bad. I don't know. I'm going to be going to the fatherland.
Is that where you're going in a couple weeks?
I'm going to Switzerland, actually, but close enough.
You're not going to Germany?
No. No. But I just...
What are you doing in Switzerland? Is there a yodeling contest or something? What are you doing?
It's a Ricola thing. It's a big Alp horn blowing contest.
Okay.
Yes, we'll be in the mountains. I'm going to bring my pet cow.
Okay.
And we'll be doing some
radioactive boar.
Yes, exactly. That's.
Is this just a family vacation? What are you doing here?
We're just going.
Is it just you two?
No, we're going to 3 couples.
Okay, who are these?
My sister and her boyfriend, and my friend Todd Schneider, the co-author of Green Vice 4, and his wife. They live out in California. It's just a chance to get back together with them and
are you just staying in Switzerland?
We are also going to Italy.
Wow.
Yeah. So we planned this like a year ago, and I didn't know that I was going to have a book coming out now, and so the timing isn't perfect. But I don't care. It is what it is. Are we doing a show?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what? I have to tell you a story.
Yes,
I got to tell you a story.
Number 7 on our list right here. This is you.
All right.
See, that's like when it says Rick, number 7, that's you.
All right. I'm ready. Have you heard about the new merger between Smuckers and Hostess?
I don't think so.
So Smuckers bought
the
Hostess.
jelly company.
Yeah.
Right.
The jelly company bought Hostess, the snack company.
Okay.
Which, if you think about it, is a good combination, right?
Great co-founder.
Hostess makes Twinkies, Ding Dongs, Ho Hos, Zingers, cupcakes, and snowballs. All right, that's just... I'm sure you've had every one of those.
I've had every one.
Smuckers makes jelly, jam, Jif peanut butter, Goober grape, Folgers coffee, Milk Bone treats.
Goober grape, for those of you who don't know, it's a jar of peanut butter and jelly
together.
Right. Because in America, we're too fucking lazy to have 2 different jars,
Well, I think it's just beginning because now these 2 companies are together. So I have a couple of products, the merging.
Idea Man? Idea Man?
We're just spitballing. So if you can help me work through this with your master's degree.
Right.
I was thinking Ding Dong Jelly.
Okay. Sure.
It's kind of a visual.
Yeah.
But Ding Dong Jelly.
Yeah. I can think of some packaging for that right off the bat.
How about Goober Balls?
Goober similar
balls?
packaging.
All right. And what about Twinkie butter?
Twinkie butter. Yeah.
Or the Zinger Bone. The Zinger Bone. Those are just some possibilities. I think if you have others, you can send them to us. And maybe the people at Smuckers will appreciate our help.
What is the difference between jam and jelly?
That's a great question. I have no idea. Do you want to look that up?
No.
Okay. It's time for another feature. What do we call this one again?
That would be Celebrity Potpourri.
A random name pulled out of Rick's bowl of brushes with celebrities. Mixture, collection, selection, assemblage, medley, assortment, variety. Time now for Celebrity Potpourri with Rick and Dave.
And how does marmalade fit into the jam jelly?
Boy, these are all great questions. By the way, can you tell that I've been working like 14 hours a day getting this book ready? I'm a little, my brain is a little fakakta.
Yeah.
And I say fakakta because this email right now is for you.
Okay, good.
This is the first time this has ever happened. This is from Sarah. Sarah, I couldn't find an email for Dave, so I'm sending this to you.
That's okay.
It's a Jew to Jew message for Passover.
Okay.
Dave, you'll never believe who my. You have to help me with pronunciations here.
Okay.
Bubby.
My bubby is my grandmother.
You'll never believe who my bubby invited to our Passover Seder in the 1970s.
Okay.
Avery Schreiber.
Oh, my God. That is awesome.
He's from Chicago. His mother, Minnie, is friends with my bubby. I was a celebrity at the shul for months after word got out.
That's the temple.
Yeah. After word got out by me telling everyone.
Right.
I don't remember anything about the dinner except for his big mustache
and his afro.
And one question that my bubby asked him. Remember, he was part of a comedy team called Burns and Schreiber. She asked him, "Is Burns a goyim?" Schreiber replied, "Goyer than a Velveeta and Miracle Whip Wonder Bread sandwich."
That is a great story.
That is a great story.
Did I ever tell you? Thank you, sir. When
Sarah.
Yeah. When my daughter Lila, when she was in preschool, we went to the Catholic preschool.
Yeah.
They would give us the menu, right, for what's going to happen for the for lunch. I am not making this up. They had corned beef sandwiches on white bread.
Yeah. That's who we are. That's who we are.
Have you not seen Mrs. Maisel?
I know. And yellow mustard? Yellow mustard.
Well, that was probably mayonnaise. It was like probably white bread, mayonnaise, and corned beef.
Yeah, I just like the idea of a Velveeta and Miracle Whip sandwich.
I just love the fact that Avery Schreiber's eating, hey, pass me the potatoes. God, that is a great story.
I actually remember him. I don't know how many people do. All right.
I think he was the go-to guy that I would say to describe a Jew.
Oh, right? Is that right? Yeah. Actually, I think that's right. Yeah. When we were a kid.
Yeah, I went to Hebrew school with Avery Schreiber.
Yeah,
whatever.
So we have another show called Minutia Men Celebrity Interview. We just played you a clip from our Kurt Elling interview. There's another musician on this week.
Yeah, Scott May. He longtime Chicago guy. Just joined the Ides of March 33 years ago, I think it was. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So he's the new kid at the Ides of March. Obviously, an extremely famous band here in Chicago. He tells some great stories. He is really tied into the Chicago community with in the radio business and
the comedy world.
He was the co-host with Morton Downey Jr. wasn't
he?
Yeah,
he was on Morton Downey Jr. show. There's all kinds of great stories. Check it out. It's Scott May on the Minutia Men Celebrity Interview. It'll be up soon.
Yeah.
Right. So be sure to check that out. In the meantime, we have people to thank. Mm-hmm. Why don't you thank them this week?
I'd like to thank Joseph Goebbels for releasing Tony Lasano.
Yeah.
Good God. Couldn't do the show without Tony.
OPIShows.com.
Ed Silla distributes all of
RadioMisfits.com.
I want to thank you.
And I want to thank you. Your happy 60th birthday.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll be back again next week.
I want to thank Sarah.
And thank you, Sarah, for sending in your email. And we'll be back again next week with a brand new episode of
Minutia Men.
The preceding was a presentation of Opie Productions. Find our other great shows wherever you find podcasts, including OPIShows.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?